Okay, so you are about to start your project. You know the topic and you've created a few thumbnails. So how can you make these thumbnails better? We learned that you can change the viewpoint, you can change the angle, you can change the layout, you can change the placement. Maybe you want some more negative space to show the environment of the subject matter. Or maybe you want to zoom in really close so that you are focusing on just the focal point or the subject of the painting. So I have an idea from a student who started this project on her narrative assignment, and she wanted to recreate a moment from her childhood when she felt really happy and was dancing around, and her dad was recording her dancing and smiling. So we're going to start by looking at her thumbnails, the first ones that she came up with. I can share the screen. Okay, so these are her thumbnails. And you can see they're all from the side view, and the little girl is facing forward, but the dad is facing sideways. The first one has captured the general idea. This is what we want for the first one. And this is a really good example of why we never go with the first idea. Look at all this negative space up here. It doesn't do anything to add to the photo or the drawing. It gets a little bit better down here. She's eliminated some of that negative space, but it still looks kind of, it's just too much. Here we're getting a little bit better, and here also, but it's basically the same thing. It's the dad on the side and the girl facing forward. So how can we make this better? Well, let's start by taking a look at some reference images. Let's find some pictures of little girls dancing so we know exactly how they look when they're dancing, and we can copy and paste them to a document. And here I have a document started where I've copied and pasted some images of a little girl dancing. What else do we need? We need to know what a man looks like holding a camera. So when I first put figure of a man holding camera, this is what came up. And these are pretty decent. I could even use this little sketch guy or this sketch. This would require that I have a picture of a little girl dancing from behind. Because if the dad is facing us, then we need to see the little girl from behind. And I found these images as well. But what if we want the girl facing us? Well, then we need to search and try to find pictures of a man from behind. And oftentimes, if you click on one image, it'll give you some more down below that you might be able to use. So I've copied and pasted all these reference images, little girls dancing, and then men holding cameras. So now let's see how we can put this into play with sketching. Turn the camera around. All right, so we want to start with just some rectangles, and I'm going to be looking at the reference images while I draw. I'm going to start with the little girl facing us. So if we use a horizon line and we do the same sort of view, but one vertical and then one horizontal, we'll see how it looks better. The objects that are placed on the horizon line are going to look farther away from us. So we need to draw them smaller, and then the objects in the foreground will be bigger and down low. So the man holding the camera should be down low, and the little girl should be far away. So I can just do like a little sort of stick figure of the little girl, because these are just thumbnails and we're just trying to get the sketch out. So this would be a little girl dancing and how big she would be. And then I need to get the man from behind. So I'll do large man off to the left, holding his camera. And then whatever was going on in the background, she looks really, really too big right now, the way that I drew her. I'm gonna cut that size down. She's too big compared to his figure. Maybe a little bit more like that size. Okay, now, am I happy with her being this small? Maybe, maybe not. Do I want to make her bigger? Maybe we should try drawing the man even bigger, like this big, and his hand holding the camera. And then the girl can be bigger and take up more space. Okay, so now what if we want to see the man in front of us as though it's the little girl, almost like it's her looking toward her dad. So now I would need to draw the little girl dancing from behind, and she's larger because she's in the foreground. She's got duck feet. Her little elbow, her hair swinging because she's dancing. And then dad is farther away in front of her. So I'm going to check out one of the reference images where the dad is holding the camera, and we have to draw him small now. And I can also then try that in a horizontal layout. And maybe I want to put the little girl dancing over on this side and the man here. So these are things I want you to think about: changing your viewpoint, changing your layout, trying to come up with a little bit more interesting way of showing the same story.